Hello, welcome to another episode of Could Be Wrong. I'm Nick Schwert. We got T-Han, we got Mac. Vern should be joining us soon. He was in San Diego for that game. I'm not going to do the whole pomp and circumstance here and break down what happened. You all know what happened. KU loses to St. John's in the round of 32. They were down by a billion and then came back, tied the game, fouled like 1,400 times, and then made a weird substitution and let some white kid just drive uncontested to the lane and hits a buzzer-beating layup. And St. John's moves on to the round of 16, commonly referred to as the Sweet 16. I want to know, this game ended about 3 hours ago. Would either of you guys like to tell me how you spent the last 3 hours?
Yeah, I mean, I sulked around my parents' house during my wife's birthday dinner. Ruined everyone's night, probably.
Nobody could talk to you?
Not for a while. I actually walked right outside immediately. And then I realized I didn't have anywhere to go. Yeah, I don't know. Just dealing with it. Doom scrolling. Came home, got the kids to bed, and went back to that. I actually watched more basketball. I have no idea how or why.
Oh, you're sicko.
I think it's just, usually I won't, but this year I'm just like, with everything that could be coming down with the head guy, I am like, maybe I'll just keep watching more basketball, pretend that they didn't just get their hearts ripped out and eaten in front of them.
Mac, have you been watching basketball? You're muted, by the way.
I've got a 9-year-old son who this year is really into basketball and really into the tournament. Mm-hmm. And as soon as the game ended, like the thing we've been doing, like when a game ends, we go find another game. Like, all right, now on to the next one. Let's watch the next game. So he immediately is like, all right, which game we turning on? I'm like, oh, that's not how this works now.
Like, how old's your son?
9. And so we flipped on the Florida game and sat there and watched and talked about the game. And it was, so yeah, I watched more basketball too. I wanted to turn it off, but I didn't. So, but yeah, it's been mostly sulking and devastation and doom and gloom here too. And
I was an intense watch today. I texted you guys before. I felt like sick to my stomach before the game. I don't know why. Maybe because it's the first tournament game in like 3 years where I thought there was a decent chance we'd lose, but also I was expecting, the whole March Madness thing. And you haven't felt that for a couple of years. And so my wife was like, when they started coming back, she went outside and watched it on her phone. Like, it was a nice day in Denver. She's like, I can't watch around you. And I don't even know if she was like up to par or whatever, but as soon as the ball went in, TV was off. I grabbed the remote, TV off, and just sat there and stared at a black screen. And she walks in, and it was one of those deals where it was like, she didn't really know what kind of mood I was going to be in. Do I need to give him space? Like, what does he need from me? She just walks in, and it was the emotion suppression stage where I just go, hey, I'm going to start making dinner soon. You hungry? Turn my phone on Do Not Disturb and just unplugged for like an hour and a half. I don't know if I feel better.
Much healthier, I think.
No, somebody says, Nick, you thought this was the first tourney game we might lose in 3 years. No, it was the first tourney game that I was hopeful we would win, even though I thought we would lose. It was like that inner conundrum of like, I know we're probably going to lose this, but I really want us to win, and I think we could. Last couple of years, it was kind of like, yeah, they're going to lose. This isn't going to be fun. So that's the difference. I don't know where you guys want to start. That fucking sucked. Being down 14, you start to cope in the process. You start to go through the grieving process of just like, fuck, this season, what the hell? Like, gonna go out like this. And then for them to claw their way back into the game just to lose in that fashion. That was a roller coaster of emotions. That sucked. That sucked so bad.
Would you have rather
I'd rather lose by 15?
I was just going to ask
lose
that.
by 10. Yeah,
I disagree.
for sure.
I disagree.
I say
Because
that
if they lose by
think
10, if they lose by 15, if they just like continue to get blown out, then it's like this fucking team has no heart. They have no fight. They just threw in the towel. They got us excited early in the season. We thought they were fun. We thought they liked playing with each other. We thought Bill liked coaching them, just for them to get washed out of the building. The fact that they got back into that, it makes it harder to deal with, but at least we're not going to sit here and have the conversation of like, they just gave up. Because that's what Kentucky fans are having to do today. I'm glad that we have a lot to discuss, but that's not one of the combos.
I'm going to totally walk it back. That's what you're right. It would be, I think, easier to deal with. I mean, you would have, eulogized them before the final buzzer. This hurts more.
I was already doing
this hurts more. I was too. And then I was like, okay, let's delete that entire Word document. That eulogy was beautiful, but let's wipe it away. This is just so much more painful.
Mm-hmm.
That layup, everything about it, everything leading up to it. And we can talk about the fouls and use of time and all that, but I don't know. I don't know if it's what we're here to do.
What do we want to talk about?
I don't know.
In terms of,
don't know.
You want to talk about the game? Like, there are things about the game that, I mean, I think partway through, I remember somewhere in the first half when we were down, but it was all just awful basketball. Like, they couldn't hit a shot. We couldn't hit a shot. It was just, we were turning the ball over like crazy. And I tweeted something like, if we can just calm down, we will win this game. Because they aren't, like, I don't think they're that good. I think their defense is suffocating. I think they're really good at some things. I think they're sound. But I don't know if they're good. I think they're sound. We should have won that game. Like, if we just play like a C game, we win that game. If Melvin, Trey, Bryson, any of them do literally anything, we win that game. That's the thing that's probably the most frustrating is it was not like we were up against a buzzsaw. Yeah, they made a bunch of threes.
Right.
They still shot 30% for the game. And
how many did they shoot? How many threes did they take?
30 something. The most they've shot all year. Man. And you know what? You know what though? Like, and people can talk about that and say like, "Oh, Bill Self, bad game plan to leave them open." No. It was a good game plan. They proved exactly right what we were hoping they would do, which is shoot 30% from three and shoot a bunch of bad shots. Now, we didn't rebound great, but that was not our problem. The guy that made 6 of them, yeah, that sucks. Like he the most he's made, I think, in his career is 3. But I don't think it was a bad game plan. They just shot the ball 15 more times than us. And guess what happens when you shoot the ball 15 more times and most of those are 3-pointers? You don't have to make very many of them to freaking win. Like,
did you see the Patino on court interview in the first half?
Yeah,
he goes, "They think we can't shoot. We're going to keep shooting." And it was like, I think Bill was like, if we're going to lose to this team because they have an out-of-body experience shooting,
and that's
didn't. Fine. And they didn't. No.
But as a team, like you can take one guy. As a team, they were not that great. They were below their season average from 3. You did exactly what you needed to do. The problem was you couldn't pass the ball in bounds.
Okay, let's talk about that.
The freaking Mike was right. Mike, when his little shot volume stuff that he texted about and he's talked about, I'm pretty sure. Wow, did that come into play? I mean, that's the difference.
That is 100% the difference.
Actually, this is actually good. Not because, I mean, Mike's not here. He's going to join us. I think he's on his way back from San Diego, and he's going to join us as soon as he gets home. But I think he's going to be really excited and trying to play catch up and talking about a million things whenever he does join. So, Kevin,
Mike?
Yeah.
Excited and talking about a million things?
One box I'd like to check off before he gets here, because when he starts talking about shot volume, he's going to be going a million miles an hour. No. Can you explain shot volume? Because I don't even really understand it.
I think it's essentially that, I could be wrong, but that they're getting more possessions and opportunities for shots because of our turnovers, their offensive rebounds. We'll just tell them that I gave a full dissertation about it. Highly academic, broke out models, had flow charts and all kinds of things. And I did about 15 minutes on shot volume.
Okay, good.
And
good.
then he'll just be like, okay, we can talk about something else.
That's good because he's not going to stop to explain it. He would just start talking about it without explaining it. So I think this is actually important. This is vital for him to be able to just hit the ground running whenever he joins. The inbound is one of those things. I don't know. Maybe other people knew, maybe people who were really diving into St. John's or who were locked in on them all year long. As soon as the game started and Harlan and Hummel and Van Gundy are sitting there talking about like, this is what they do. This is what St. John's. I go, it is. I go, I did not do this research to know that they're the nation's number one inbound defense. I almost said it. We looked so inept. We looked so incapable of doing such a basic basketball thing. And it really, it got better, I guess, a little bit later once they just started sending everyone down and they had Flory come down to just like catch the ball. But a couple of those were, you could tell it was nerves. They were flustered. They were in their head. That was the most infuriating. I slapped my couch 4 times today.
The one, I got up. I don't even want to talk about it. I embarrassed myself.
No, now you have to say it.
My wife, my 3 little daughters, all dressed in, one's a little Jayhawk cheerleader, one's got the jersey, one's got the t-shirt. They're all right next to me on the couch. Other siblings are at my parents' house. And I stand up. I think it was whenever Trey threw it so hard, like he wanted to shatter El Marco's shin or something. And, they're looping out to the sideline to catch the ball. It was just a disaster so many different times. And I stood up. And then I just came down with all my force to slap the leather couch, and it sounded like a bomb went off in North Dallas. And they're all looking at me with big eyes, and I was like, I'm just kidding. Daddy's crazy. So silly. Got to earn their trust back. But I'm going to make them feel safe again. But it's just, it was infuriating. The inbounds, I don't know. I don't know if it's the staff. I don't know if it's not game planning properly for it. I don't know if it's just the players were like, holy shit, this is hotter heat than we could have anticipated, and their execution crumbled. It did not look fun to inbound the ball in that
did you hear
game.
After the one, I think it was in the second half, and they were in the corner, and I think it was Van Gundy or one of the guys said it, and then the other one was like reiterating it. They were like, we saw them all day yesterday. They were talking about what they saw KU prepping. They were like, they were prepping for this full court press. They were prepping for how to beat pressure. And they were like, and none of it's coming into play. Like, none of it is. Yeah. They were like almost, one of them said it, and the other one was like, I can't believe it. I can't believe they practiced this all day yesterday, and they're failing this spectacularly on game day.
It's like they were prepping only to go break it, not to just fundamentally get the ball in. Like, I think they were prepping to go get buckets off of it, go break it.
Right.
And maybe they should have spent more time with the first part, which is just getting the ball across the line to somebody with the same jersey on.
Well, here's the problem.
Is that a KU? Go ahead.
I'm going to say, here's a huge problem with it is once you let it get to you and you can't get the effing ball in, and it goes sour one time, and then they come out and they're pressuring the inbounds again. I think it gets yip territory where you're overthinking who you're passing it to when you're inbounding. The guys getting open they're feeling the heat of, Do I have to get more separation? Do I have to, I mean, they all get in their own head. And it was apparent. I mean, they were in their own heads trying to get the ball in bounds.
But that was all game. That it was highly visual, like everyone saw it in the inbounds plays. But the entire game, for the most part, other than the last, call it whatever, 6 minutes, it was that way with everybody, with the ball in their hands, with ball and body movement, with like just general passing. and I think even just being aggressive, like just trying to like pick your spots and go, like it's almost like everyone just kept. I think I tweeted something like most of these guys are just not ready for this moment. Like no one looked ready for the moment at any point in the game except late. You saw some flash, but that was. I mean, I think the inbounds plays were a symptom, were like the most obvious side of it, but like they didn't look good anywhere. Like none of it looked good.
No. Yeah, and I don't know what turned late. I don't know if it was just like we have nothing to lose, or if all of a sudden, because I don't even really remember what started it, because it didn't even though they got back in the game.
Rosario.
Yeah, that was actually Cole's 3 was big.
Big Cole.
It wasn't like a sustained run. It was just, it felt like incremental chipping, and all of a sudden you looked up and they were back within 5. Cole was huge.
Melvin finally hit a 3. Cole finally hit a 3. Like you saw.
We got to the line a bunch in the second half. I feel like early in the second half we were at the line a bunch.
Darren and 1.
This is just like the thing I kept thinking about during the game. And granted, like Trey hit a bucket late. Melvin did some stuff late. Whatever. I just didn't anticipate these guys whose praises we've sang all season long would just turn into pumpkins in the postseason. I mean, Trey White, let's start there. Great year. Nothing burger the last 4 games. I mean, this is a guy who at a handful of times this year carried you, hit huge shots, was a sniper. He was shot like what, 43% from 3? And just looked, and they called it on the broadcast, but like indecisive. Had an opening, took an extra dribble. Now all of a sudden he's pulling up with his left hand, kind of guy gets a step closer. Bryson, I thought there have been, and I get it, like Bryson has not shot the ball well all year. But if that's going to be like the thing that you wanted to do early, like you should still take the opportunities when they come. Like they got mad at you because that's all you wanted to do earlier in the season. I still think there's a world in where you catch the ball on the wing and there's nobody within 5 feet of you. That pump fake on nobody is not going to be nearly as effective for this offense as just pulling the trigger. And these guys just felt like they were not, I don't know what you want to call it. Not being ready, indecisive. Sorry, emotional. This is what I get. I was like, you know what? Fuck this. I'm just going to eat popcorn during the show tonight. And there's definitely a kernel stuck in my throat. But yeah, it just seemed like they didn't know what they were supposed to be doing. Were they supposed to be assertive? Were they supposed to be deferring to Darren? What kind of looks? Everyone looked out of sorts and uncomfortable.
It was kind of weird, honestly. I mean, you might expect it for someone who's never been there. And I guess a lot of these guys, technically hadn't really had a bunch of like tournament experience or whatever. But I mean, they're not freshmen either. Like these guys, the 2 you talked about, Trey,
they both played in the tournament. I know it was only one. I think Melvin played once at St. Bonaventure, and I think Trey played 2 years ago.
And Melvin's been, you talked about Trey not being great the last, whatever, call it 3-4 games, which he wasn't good at all the last 3-4 games. Melvin hasn't been great for a while, at least efficient. He does good things. He's a good defender,
He scored a little bit today, but yeah, he turned the ball over.
Inefficient in
Yeah.
turnovers, just not being what he was early on. He still adds things to the game. He's the only one who can get in the paint. So, you like that. But the thing he didn't do really well again was drive with a plan and drive to kick. And we just didn't have anything there at all game. And we didn't see the two-man game. We didn't see the lobs. We didn't see, obviously they defended it well, but that is, some of the stuff that was really successful for us throughout the season. Him getting in the paint, finding Trey in the corner, getting Bryson sort of top roll, there were lots of things that kind of worked throughout the season that you didn't really see at all. Like feels like the past 2 weeks. Basically, K-State game notwithstanding.
And Mel looked uncomfortable too. There were two specific plays. The one where he drove and kicked it to nobody in the corner. And then the other one where he was like walking the line of being assertive, but also not knowing what the fuck he's doing. When he drove and jumped and threw that scud missile to Paul, who was double teamed. Like, it was just the most nonsensical play. And it was like, you didn't know what you were going to do. You were just like, I'm going to drive and figure it out on the way.
And the ability again, or inability again, for the what feels like a long time running, inability of anyone to make a three-pointer other than Darren Peterson or one guy. The entire team just not having shooters, I guess, is really what I'm getting at.
But that's the thing. Trey was a shooter all year. And then
he became a non-shooter.
He became the guy he was the previous 3 years.
Maybe he just became himself.
But we kept waiting
had a
for that
whole
shooter
season.
fall. I know.
They played. They just did not look like they were ready. Not coached. It was mental. Like they didn't look like they were ready to be under the lights. Like it was weird. I've never seen, they were spooked. Like it felt like the whole game just spooked.
So do you think that's an NCAA tournament thing, or do you think that's another like microcosm of how it's been the last month? Because this is the thing that I cannot figure out. Say what you will about the offense, inefficient, never really was in a good spot this year. However, it certainly fell off a cliff from whatever it was over the last month. And I don't know if this is a false equivalency, but it happened at the exact same time Darren Peterson started playing full games. And all we begged for all season, just get this guy out there for full games. Then finally we can see this team's full potential. And it seems like almost as soon as he started playing 30 minutes a night, the offense dropped off from whatever it was to an even worse spot in terms of efficiency, in terms of just like fluidity and getting good looks. And I don't know if it's as easy as saying like, yeah, they didn't know how to play with him. They didn't know what his role was.
I think Bill even said as much in one of these tournament media scrums. He said, admitted to the two different offenses. I think there's one where Darren's not out there and everybody knows you got to run stuff to get looks because none of us are good enough to consistently go manufacture them. But when you have full load Darren, the best offensive strategy is to let him essentially rock out and give him the longest leash and the greenest light because he's the best option. So, yeah, I guess they never figured out what do you do with letting Darren do his thing? How do you complement that? There was no complement.
I'm willing to give this something, Nick. You can't, you could go one way or the other. You could argue really hard one way and argue really hard the other one. Neither are right or whatever. You can't prove it. But I'll say this, I'm not willing to give that as an excuse. Like, I don't think like they had a long time to play together until he got hurt, and then all the things that we've now learned about the body cramps and everything else. And it's not like these guys, I mean, we saw a pretty small sample size, I guess, without him overall in the grand scheme of things. And yeah, they were actually kind of successful. They beat Arizona, they beat Tennessee, did the whole Vegas thing. And I mean, looking at those guys there, I don't understand it. Like, it won't compute in my head that you plop Darren Peterson in and they all of a sudden can't do any of those things anymore. Like, I'm not willing to, I don't understand that. It doesn't compute in my head.
So do you think the timing is a coincidence of like when the offense?
I mean, sure. I mean, yes, maybe. I don't know. But what I'm really getting at is some of it could be Darren. Some of it could be everyone else deferring. Like, I'm willing to understand and accept that. The thing that I think I was more bothered by is that we couldn't figure out a way to have Darren be more of a facilitator, because he has the ability to draw obviously a lot of attention. And I don't think ever really all year, candidly, like ever, we used that as a weapon. He would take it, he would go, he would make it a lot of the times, or something good would happen, he'd get fouled, but never did it. At least it never felt like he was drawing the attention in a way that would let everyone else be as good as they should have been. We've always talked about, like, what happened if Hunter had good shooters, right? It's the same thing. Like, what happens if he's just a facilitator for everyone else? He's drawing all this attention. And I just, I don't think I can accept in my head that Bill Self can't put something together there that makes that all work. And obviously he didn't. Like, they didn't. Like, it didn't work. And maybe that is Darren's fault. Maybe that is a Darren thing or whatever. But it doesn't make sense in my head that they could not figure that you add the best player theoretically in college basketball and it gets worse. Like, it just doesn't compute.
Yeah.
I think that there's obviously a lot of blame to go around, but I just had to look at the final numbers for the season. And Darren has completed his one and only season at Kansas, and he played 49% of KU's minutes, which is like, okay, he's not ever going to play 100. Melvin played 1,000,000 minutes and he played 86%. But like, I don't know what that equates to in terms of, like, I mean, I know he missed 11 games, but it's just, it's hard for me to not get past the idea of, like, would they look better 11 games from now if they had 11 more games of Darren? Would things look more fluid? Would the offense look more cohesive? Would guys have better chemistry? I don't know. Maybe the fit would just never be there and they'd never figure it out. But it's really hard for me to not imagine that would have gotten better. And it's
that's fair.
It's pointless because we'll never know. So just like you were saying, who knows? We can argue about it for forever. It's a hypothetical, but that's the part to me I just can't get over. I'm like, these feel like mid-season growing pains that you're having in the postseason when everybody else has kind of figured out what they do.
It didn't work. The experiment failed.
Fuck. That was the Darren Peterson season. That's how it went.
That's very painful. Did you watch any of his locker room stuff?
No.
He looks broken up. I mean, he's not sitting there, De'Aaron Fox crying with Malik Monk, but I wouldn't expect that from him. Doesn't wear his emotions on his sleeve.
You didn't say it as a shot, but that felt like a shot.
It's not. I would not expect that. That's not that guy.
I meant it felt like a shot at. It felt like maybe a shot at De'Aaron Fox.
Oh no, I loved that. I do think he cared. I will remember watching him at KU for 1 year, and oddly, I'll remember it fondly. he was spectacular and gave us some great moments, but it was just not a good season ultimately. I mean, it didn't end well. And it's a very weird, it's very weird that's how it all played out. And it's over in the round of 32.
We wanted him. We were talking about it last game. He shot the ball 24 times, 25 times. Led the team in minutes last game, by the way. We didn't talk about that. Tonight only got 15 up. Had he shot 23 times, probably win the game. Like, I'm just saying, like, they're now we didn't get that many opportunities because we kept turning the damn ball over, but
16 turnovers.
I was paying more attention to him off ball today than I did probably the last game. And I was trying to figure out, like, okay, what is he doing? What kind of effort is he putting forth to get the ball, to demand the ball in these situations? And there are times, when the set doesn't produce any looks and he'll come up to the top of the key and it's a very much like, I am going to try to get the ball. I am going to make it clear, like, hey, I'm here. Number 22, the best player.
Here I am.
But it's definitely not overly demanding, give me the ball situation, which, like, I'm sure 5 years from now, when he's 24 and the best player on whatever NBA team he's on, he will probably learn that. And I don't know if that's just something he's never had to do, because in high school, everyone knew, you're so much better than us. We're clearly giving you the ball. You don't even have to ask for it. We're forcing you the ball. And I just wonder if that's something that he hasn't learned yet, that, like, hey, you really kind of do have to be a dick about it. You kind of have to just scream at them and say, give me the fucking ball and get out of the way.
Yeah.
You're really, that just triggered the, do you remember the Andrew Bynum clip where he's posting and I think it's Vujicic or something. I don't know. He's posting and he's waving his arm around. The ball's not coming into the post and he's got a little guy on him and it's a loud, the mic picks it up, a very loud clap. Give me the fucking ball. They should have just had him study that.
Yeah.
If there was anything else going tonight, like anything else, then whatever. But there was nothing going tonight. There was nothing. There was no other way for us to win that game. Like, the stuff that happened late for us to get in the game, some of it was fluky. Now, I do think that Cole gave a spark. Great offensive board, came in and made a three, like, whatever. Like, might have been out of bounds when he threw that shot to Trey, whatever. It doesn't matter. The point is, though, there was not much going on. Like, nothing. There was not a Robin to the Batman ever anywhere.
Yet they were still in position to get an extra 5 minutes of basketball. I just can't even believe that still.
That's the part that's so annoying, is that, like, St. John's kind of sucks. Like,
I know. Duke feels good. Duke feels really good tonight.
They're good at things. They're good at executing. They have, I think Zuby's great. Like, dude, like, I haven't watched a lot of him. Like, he was fun to watch. Like, he's good. But God dang, they can't shoot. They defend well, but we should have beat them. There's no excuse.
I mean, the defensive blueprint is there. KU just showed you. I mean, I would assume Duke is going to do the exact same thing. Shoot as many threes as you want.
Yeah. Duke's the Elite Eight.
See what that line is right now, by the way.
What?
I'm curious what the Duke St. John's line is.
Oh, I thought you already had it.
I got it. Give me 2 seconds. It's 6.5. Yeah.
Okay. We can wait for Mike on this. We can just
the next thing
punt it. But how much time have y'all spent on thinking about Bill's future and next season, and the fact that the portal opens up right after the national title game?
Yeah, this
Is that right? And is open for 15 days?
This is where I think we want Mike. I don't
Yeah.
know if is Mike imminent?
I know he's home. I know he's home. He was trying to eat sustenance.
Eat? He's eating and not joining the pod? You're eating popcorn on the pod.
Need you now.
I am.
Mike.
I'm not putting on airs for anybody tonight. Yeah, I mean we can get into it and set it up for whenever Mike does join. To answer your question.
Yeah, answer the question.
Like I told you, I angrily made dinner seconds after the game ended, and I'm just sitting there just like chopping up an onion. I'm just slamming the knife on the cutting board, thinking about like, this is it. That was Bill's last run. Fucking Elmarco Jackson giving up a layup with 3 seconds after cutting a lead from 14 to tying it up. I thought about it quite a bit, but it's like we've been thinking about it for months now. So it's not. You haven't. Yes, you have. We've talked about it.
I haven't been thinking about it. I don't think it's real. I haven't been thinking about it at all. I actually literally have not thought about it at all. Every time I go
big natural take.
Every time I go on the Discord and people are talking, that's all they're talking about. I just tune out. Like I'm not listening to that. I have no interest in that conversation until it feels real. And it still yet doesn't feel real. But if Mike comes on here and says it's real, and you guys both go, it's real, and we need to, and I make Mike give me odds because I like to do that with him to say, Mike, what's your vibe? Is it a 50-50? And he says, no, it's actually plus 300 that he comes back. Then I'll start feeling it. But
I don't think he's going to say that. I think he's going to say, I'm going to stake my take on Mike's take being that Bill's going to retire.
I'm going to stake my take that he doesn't. And
okay, we've got an old-fashioned takeoff. Looks like we got a takeoff.
I think that I'm in the minority here based on everything that we've sort of seen, heard, group chat, Discord, someone's neighbors, friends, dog, whatever. He talked about it in the post game, and you listen to, Bill talk and you kind of pick things up. And the most interesting part was nothing about his health or I feel okay or like, people were asking him all that. The comment that I heard that I thought was most interesting was, I used to think of this in increments of 5 years. And now I think of it in increments of 2 years. And I think that the start of this year was his 2-year clock. And that next year is his last year. That was the thing that I caught. I don't know if that's overthinking it or not, but I've always thought that it was going to be the end of next year. I'm going to stick with that until it's not true.
Perfect.
Michael has joined us.
I guess we've got our answer from Mike's name for this
Coach
episode.
Searchmeister.
Jesus Christ. Seriously?
What?
If you start freaking tracking flights, I'm done. Like if you put the flight tracker on,
like in general,
I'm done. Okay.
And, well, he's done. He just left.
He's done.
I'm here. Are you saying in general or
why is your camera off, Mike?
I don't know why. Something happened. Just said, hold on. I'm going to keep talking now. So.
Okay.
Great potting here.
Why are you anti?
Oh, unbelievable. Mike, if for those of you who are listening, Mike just keeps popping up on the screen for 5-second increments, similar to Mech's 2-year increment comment about Bill Self.
That was an interesting line.
Vern's doing a 5-second increment.
Well,
right now we just look at Mike CD-ROM, which is just a circle with a smaller circle.
Perfectly average amount of time for some people.
Mike's trying to pass the ball in right now. It's just not going well. Come on, Mike.
that sucked.
All right, Mike.
To watch in person.
We've already talked about the game. We don't want to talk about anything about the game, but I do want to ask you what it was like in person. And then I think we need to transition to the topic that we just started on that you'll probably have a lot of takes on. So what was it like in person? Talk to us about the game experience.
I'm trying to get my camera to work, but should I just
Just
Should I
talk
not?
and we'll and
Vagina Serena in San Diego was beautiful. It was really outdoor concessions, very San Diego-esque. It was packed, full house in there, 12,000 strong. Seeing that was horrible, though. The first half was horrible. Felt like I was going to throw up most of it. And then the second half was sucked until the end. And when it didn't, and then it sucked again. I was watching Self's family all there, sitting there watching, very upset at the end. Watched Jane Dawson walk El Marco off. Bill and DP didn't speak to each other, but there was a high five, like a low high five. Can't see it because of the camera issues. The grandkids were there, like Self's whole family was there. And so that was kind of, we're just trying to take it in and it, I don't know, sucked. St. John's fans were maybe not the most high basketball IQ. Let's talk about that. I felt like I was Red Auerbach out there compared to them. You're 30 rows up, bub. You don't know what happened, neither did I. We're 18 rows up. I don't know. What do you want to know? What else do you want to know?
We started doing this the last episode, Mech. I like when we just let Vern go and see how long he can awkwardly fill the silence.
started
want
with
my
outdoor
camera to work.
concessions.
Oh, the Vagina
nice.
Serena. It was really quite nice. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so work on your camera.
Okay.
But-
I'm going to close the browser and come back.
Come back.
Ready?
Do we need to get him? Well, I guess when he comes back, we can get him caught up on where we were in the question about how much we thought about the future.
Of Kansas?
No,
Yeah, but get a camera.
Just go fix your issues, and then
Don't you have a MacBook? What is
Jesus.
tech? He works in tech.
you think,
Doesn't he literally work in tech?
yeah, but he doesn't like to talk about that.
So- All right. But dead ass serious. I haven't thought about it at all. I can't in my head, like he's been the coach my entire life, pretty much, that I've ever since I've been in college. He became the coach when I was at KU. He's been the coach ever since. I can't imagine a world when he's not the coach. Like I remember Roy days, but it was a while ago. Like it's not. I cannot. That's hard to compute right now.
Yeah. You and Nick go back. I only know Bill.
I was so
That's
young.
it.
I was so young. I think I was in 5th grade when Roy left.
Oh yeah, you're.
I was young enough to where I cried when Roy Williams left.
I think I
and-
cried.
I might cry again. When Bill, because it's just wild. Like I saw those stats that were getting passed around this week, about longest NCAA tournament appearance streak. KU's #1 at like 36. And I did the math. I'm like, Bill Self alone at Kansas would be 3rd on the list, ahead of everybody except for like Michigan State.
It's crazy.
It is such a long time, and knowing that it's unlikely because I mean, this will have been, he's what, the 2nd longest tenured coach in KU history? Probably Fogg is the only one who coached for longer.
Hot guy alert.
Statham
Statham.
alert.
Wow.
Yeah, I decided to show my true self. And,
This is peak Statham.
yeah, I'm peak Statham right now.
We're getting. If you're not on video, you need to know that the 3 of us are getting intensely frame mogged by Statham Vicular.
Yeah, lethal. I'm getting a lethal cortisol spike right now from Mike.
I don't know what any of that means, but I'm cool with it. You guys cool with it?
Yeah. Oh, we're good with it. We're great with
Yeah,
it.
we're
I
great.
decided to show my true self and to show it all. And
It's beautiful.
my hats are off.
By the way, the only thing I have seen from postgame was the video that you sent, Kevin, of somebody in the presser asking Bill, they're like, how many of these close games have you been a part of? And obviously that was pretty brutal. And basically the question was,
That's how your career is going to end.
that's what a shitty way for your career to end, huh? That was essentially the question.
That was crazy. Who asked that?
Dude, the NCAA tournament, like you're gonna get all these national guys, and they're just not locked in.
You think that was a national guy?
Yeah, I do.
I don't know.
That was probably
Could've been like a
some
local
dude it's
San
probably
Diego
some dude
columnist.
who works on the toilets at Vagina's
Stripes.
Arena. That was terrible. That was unbelievable.
Vijay Arena.
I was just following your
question?
pronunciation. You were in the building.
Oh yeah, Vaginas Arena.
Okay,
Hey,
Mike,
real quick,
Yeah.
new article posted up from Shreyas, the Kansas City Star beat writer for the Kansas Jayhawks. Headline: KU players push back on social media criticism of Bill Self after NCAA loss. The headline quote was from McDowell, who said, well, you can't take nothing from him. He's been doing this shit longer than I've been alive. The people that sit around and have time to sit on the internet and talk about stuff they have no idea probably should get a job.
oh,
If you have time to do that, I don't have time to do that. If you have time to do that, good for you, bro. Keep pushing your content. Everybody got to do something. I don't really pay attention to it, but I see it on social media.
That was all Jamari.
Yeah.
So
it did
sounds
say, though,
like he's on social media a lot.
I didn't
That's
even have my
take from that.
notifications on. I opened Instagram. Yeah, it's dumb. I don't know why I opened it. Then I go, oh, that's all right, bro. The good news is I don't think any of it's really platformed on Instagram. So
No,
must be somebody else.
Florey's Guardian is, if you know where to look. Does he have comments on that?
I just
Zuby's guardian is.
thought that was interesting. Okay, sorry. Go ahead.
what was the question that was asked to him?
I don't know, verbatim. You kind of summarized it.
The Star asked several
It sounds
KU
like
players
Murray
what
was
they thought
talking
of
about
some of the
himself,
national
by
and
the way.
social media criticism of Self, and that the idea that KU could consider replacing him. They all pushed back strongly.
Okay.
You-
The idea that
Jamari's
KU
like,
consider replacing him.
oh,
Who-
you mean
that's a false. That's not that. That's a fake take.
Let's just touch on that real quickly before we get into the actual conversation. That's it. That is a fake take. No one, even the people, even like the KU fans who I noticed kind of like reveling in the loss today because it means that they were right that Self is whatever needs to retire. Even they're not suggesting that Bill is going to be fired or that like Travis Goff's going to call him in and go, well, Bill, it sure has been fun. Like, I don't even know if Travis Goff has, like, I'm being dead serious. I don't know if he has the authority to fire Bill Self.
Travis
Like in
works
his
for
contract. It's like you're the AD.
Yeah.
You can do all the things that an AD does. You can hire all these coaches, softball, baseball, all kinds of stuff, football even. You cannot fire Bill Self. You cannot really talk to Bill Self unless he talks to you.
It's like that episode of The Office when Jim wants to get Ryan in trouble, but they're like, can you even fire him? He's like, I'm not sure. That's Travis Goff. Can you fire Bill? I don't know. I probably have to ask for permission first, and I probably won't get it, but I can give him a stern talking to.
Yeah, I mean,
Pretty much.
we see it all. It's in the
You're gonna have to
comments
fire
over
another
here.
assistant, Bill.
If you're firmly on he shouldn't be coaching anymore. We need to move on. We need to go get this hot, sexy, sick, rich, hot, badass mofo name. And you're not looking around at what has happened to the North Carolinas of the world, the Villanovas, the Syracuse, Indiana after relevance, dominance for decades. If you haven't looked around at what happens whenever you say goodbye to a coach and you bring in a new one that's supposed to be really good and they're not, the whole thing can backslide aggressively, missing tournaments. So
Yeah.
I hope everyone's considering what the alternatives could look like, that it's not just you hire a better coach automatically.
So can we real quickly just clarify this podcast pro Bill Self coming back another year or questionable?
I want Mike to answer first.
Well, it depends. Is Darren Matsubara going to be around?
No, he's not.
Okay.
Don't try to defer with jokes, Mike. Answer the question.
Yeah, no, I'm pro. I'm pro having Bill back. But I don't like I have a lot more doubts, and we talked about this late after I think it was last year's tournament loss. I think we did like a really long episode. Was it last year, maybe? Well, like, is this right for Bill? Maybe it was 2 years ago. I don't know when he started. But at the same time, like, I think he's earned absolutely, like, would I trust him back another year? Like, yeah, he's absolutely earned that. I think it's fair to criticize him too. He gets paid a fuck ton of money. The athletic department has no money. So, Lance Leipold gets shit on all the time. And like, I'm not saying, oh, we can call out Lance so we can call out Bill. I'm just saying, like, he can take some heat too. It's okay. You can be critical of Bill. And I think there's warranted criticism. But yeah, we're a pro. Have Bill back if it's a binary question you're asking.
Because there are a lot of people out there, even in our comment section, and certainly in my replies, and
I get it, man,
who are done. Like, now's the time. This is enough.
Pretty
and
bad.
You can cite all sorts of things, whatever you want to cite. You could pick your favorite stat. Haven't got out of the first weekend, haven't been to a Sweet 16, and however many. Like, you could do all the things. But to Kevin's point, man, the grass ain't always greener.
Yeah. There's no guarantee the next guy's better. In fact, again, like, he'll almost certainly be worse over this large period of time.
Almost certainly, like, guaranteed to be worse.
Yeah. Right. That's where it's like, well, yeah. Right now, Bill's gonna fix some shit.
I talked to a friend of mine who listens to every show and diehard KU fan. And he just listened to our last episode today. And he was like, man, you really went at Mike in that last episode. And by the way, Mike, at the beginning of this episode, before you joined, I issued a full apology to you. So you'll have to go back.
It was super hard.
Really?
Yeah, he was really emotional about it.
He got choked up. That's when he got
did.
choked up.
It was super emotional.
I didn't cry, but it was close.
Yeah.
And he was like, and I go, I think I'm just kind of snake bitten from, like, during games, I'm watching games and I see these takes, or people will reply to me with these takes, and it just kind of like, it was a trigger point. Mike said something and it just triggered all this pent up frustration of listening to these self-proclaimed KU fans talk about how Bill Self's a bum and he's that can't hack it anymore. And he goes, maybe that's your problem, because I'm not on Twitter, so I don't see any of that shit. And I've never heard people talking about, like, how Bill Self is washed and needs to leave. And I thought, maybe this is all a made-up conversation that only we are having on Twitter and people who don't put their photos in their profile photos are having on Twitter, because it's not really a thing that I hear when I'm just talking to people as opposed to getting on Twitter during games. So maybe it's all fake. Maybe these are all fake takes.
I thought it's weird that I had a really similar thought recently, like this week, of like, if you're not on Twitter, you're not aware of any of this yet. And like, God, that must be nice. I think I was talking to someone who was like, what are you talking about? Just kind of blown away.
I think it's further than that, though. I mean, my father-in-law, who's doesn't even know how to spell Twitter, is
X.
Like, so I think it's further than that. I really do.
He's locked in or what?
No, but that's the point.
See on
Well, what does
Facebook.
he know? What is your father? Well, yeah.
But it's one
You
example.
know your father-in-law is not on Facebook. Text him right now.
I don't know. But my point is,
Where's he getting these takes? What if he's got like 3
There-
burners?
there are enough people out there who are talking about this. I think you're wrong on that. Now, the depth of it, the dark rabbit holes you can go down on Twitter, very different.
Related. Let's talk about. There's a war going on.
Knew it.
Yeah.
You're probably right. You're probably right, Mech. The depth of it is probably, it goes much deeper on Twitter than it does for normal people, because anybody who, you don't need to be on Twitter to recognize the fact that like it's not been a fun 3 or 4. Yeah, this guy right here says people not on Twitter are aware we suck at scoring.
Yeah.
You don't have to be on Twitter to realize like these last 3-4 years have kind of sucked.
Right.
However, I still think there's probably a gap between those people who feel those things watching games and the ones who get on Twitter and see hundreds of people saying, Bill Self's fried, retire, old man. Like,
Right.
that's not a real thing real people say.
I think that's probably true.
But that's Twitter.
That's a
And
very
that's-
Twitter thing, though.
But Jamari McDowell was talking about Instagram comments, and I think he was talking about himself.
Jamari McDowell's take is better than Nick Timberlake's 2 years ago.
Shout out the burners.
Nick
Shout out
Timberlake
the
called us
burners
all
to-
pathetic.
Oh, he did?
Who's us? Be careful.
He specifically called out people who were criticizing Kevin McCullough for quitting on the team as
That was
pathetic.
probably us. That might have been
Yeah,
us.
that was that was objectively us.
Top left corner.
I
for sure.
stand by it.
Wait, who's in the top left corner for you guys? Is our layouts all the same?
You.
brother.
Okay. Fair. The shoe fits.
Yeah. This guy.
Nick versus Nick.
Yeah.
Still stand by that.
So you guys think that you guys who was saying you think Bill's back or not back? Did we already do that?
All right.
Not really.
We're ready
Not
to have
really.
that conversation. Mike, can you
lead
set
it?
some odds?
I think Bill was very honest today when he said he hasn't made a decision. I think that's right. We've talked about this, by the way. Had that scoop. We've talked about it. Don't think a decision was made. Wanted to see how this thing goes. Want to see how the tournament goes. I think he is. It sounds like people think he's probably, people close think he's probably done, not probably retiring. Tonight definitely said that they would not expect him back, but also, talk to someone who knows him well and basically said he, the counterpoint was like, but it isn't there now. But someone who knows him, and it just was like, that's not how he's going out.
That's been
So
my
just to
take.
be clear,
So-
clear, Mike. So
some
what you're
people
saying though,
closer to it seem to say he sounds like more likely than not he's done.
but it sounds like what you're saying is everyone's kind of guessing. Nobody knows because there hasn't actually been a decision made. So everyone's just kind
I
of
think
trying
that's
to
real.
read the situation and read him, right?
Yeah, I think that's real. Yes, I think that's right. Read the situation, read the way, he's been acting, talking about things before the year. I think, I said like it. He was probably, it sounds like the talk was that he was probably done.
Mech said, I think
And
right before you
It
came
should all
on,
year. Yeah.
Mech had said right before you came on that the comment about the 2-year increments, he used to think about things in 5 years. Now he's thinking about them in 2 years. And that Mech said that he thought that this was maybe the first of the 2 years for Bill. Like he came into this season thinking he had 2. And we've said that a bunch, especially as it related to the Jacques hiring. When they brought Jacques on,
2-year
it
deal.
did feel like, oh, this guy could be the coach in waiting. But I don't think ever Travis Goff or anybody at KU was considering the idea that Jacques would be here sitting in close proximity to Bill Self for one season, and that would be enough for them to be like, okay, program's yours. I think it was more of like, let's get you in the building for a couple of years and see how it goes. Not, we'll get you in the building for one season and then hand things over to you. So that to me is like the biggest indication that I don't think anybody thought coming into this year that this was going to be his last season.
I think after the heart incident at Lawrence, at the golf course, I think things changed a good deal.
And that's
I think that's when it moved. Timeline continued to kind of maybe move a little faster, but yeah, I mean, I think what he said was completely honest. Like, he has got to have that conversation with his family. That, like, yeah.
I mean,
I was pretty surprised. No one asked him if he was coming, or like he said this a little bit unprompted. Is my understanding. I was driving back, so I didn't hear the question.
I thought he was asked.
Was the first one asked? I think there was a follow-up that got really direct. He kind of started talking about it first. That was a little unprompted, but either way, I think that was real. That like he hasn't decided. People around him seem to think he's probably out.
Well, think about who he's talking to about this. His family. I would have to think his wife and kids are very much on, hey, you've got heart issues.
Yeah.
Maybe an extremely high stress job, and you're almost mid-60s now. Yeah. We can't afford for you to keep doing this.
Yeah.
That's what I would say to my dad.
Yep. I would do the
same. Or husband, if I was Cindy.
Yeah. When he starts talking about that, it's like, yeah. Makes me think.
So, judging by everything that has been said, it feels like to me, if I was playing book, the odds would probably favor him not returning.
That's your book?
That's just what if I'm sitting
then
here.
Set the number then.
Well, I just told you I think he's coming back, so I'm not really in a great position to do that, but let's call it 50-50 right now. Which side are you taking? Prediction time.
Can I go last? I have my answer.
Okay.
I want to know what y'all think.
Because realistically, I don't think he's going to make a decision in the next week. It's probably sometime over the next month or so. Couple weeks. I'm guessing that Bill will come back, and the next year will be his last year.
Come join me, Nick.
Okay. I think conservatively, I'm tamping my likelihood, my percentage down here. I'm 75% sure that he's done.
And you're tamping that number down? That's a watered down 75?
A little bit.
Wow.
So that means Kevin's real number's at like 90.
80, 90.
Okay. Wow. That's like,
but I said 75,
certainty.
And that's what's going to get printed. Okay.
Okay.
And I hate it, by the way, for the record.
The way it ended changes. Yeah. No, it sucks.
What do you mean? What do you mean it changes things?
Well, that's the person who just knows him was like, he basically.
We've said that all season, Mike, that if it was a Final Four, he'd be gone. Maybe in the Elite Eight, he'd be gone. But if he goes out and loses early, he doesn't want to leave a loser.
Yeah, especially on like a buzzer beat. Like, yeah, it's like buzzer beater. Yeah.
Everyone who knows him knows that to be true. Like all those people you're talking about, they would all say that. Now, the health stuff, that's a variable we can't really compute.
Well, yeah. I think I think he's probably, if we're saying 50-50, I'm picking the side that this is his last year. that he's done. That was his last game. But I don't think a decision has been made. So I think it's likely. It's trending likely.
So, but here's what I wonder about with Bill, because for having been here as long as he has, I think he is going to feel a level of responsibility.
Yes.
Whether it's actually his responsibility, I don't think it is, but I think he is going to feel like I need to make sure I'm leaving at a good time for the program in terms of their ability to go get the next guy. Yeah, because that's leaving the cupboards full, so to speak. And I would guess that there's going to be, I don't know how honest those conversations will be with Travis and whoever's making the decisions on the next guy, to be like, do you feel good? Do you guys feel good that you're going to go get a guy? And if they're like, I don't know, we made this call, we made that call, sounds like the buyout's pretty high, donors are a little iffy on it, it sounds like he's a little iffy if we can actually get him. That, to me, could sway the decision for Bill if he's like, fuck it, okay. All right, I got one more in me. But you guys better iron some shit out, because that's going to be my last one. I don't know. Maybe that's not how it's going to go down at all. But I do think he is going to care about the idea of making sure he's leaving at a time when KU is going to feel really good about going out and getting the next guy. Because if it comes down to like, yeah, if you leave now, we're probably going to hire Jacques, Bill might be like, well, fuck. All right.
Cindy,
I almost wonder how it'd sound if Travis was trying to sell Bill on retiring because he's air quotes confident that they can get a guy.
Tommy Lloyd's on the other line. He's on call waiting. Travis is like, I think this is a good time.
Bill's like, he's using you for more money. I don't think, yeah. I think the money part of this is also a real factor. In that, like, athletics isn't flush with it, and that's not that Bill's asking for money, but I don't think he's been thrilled with his AD. I don't think he's been very happy with Travis. But that's any coach he was not going to be happy with any AD that shifted or like tried to make football a little better, because that takes money, and that's a little less money that basketball had.
Azon the Kid makes a good point that UNC and Kentucky could both be having head coaching positions open. I don't know that Kentucky will.
Kentucky won't. Yeah.
UNC though. Yeah, I was gonna, but it may be next year. That was exactly where I was going to go with it, Kevin. If it doesn't go well,
who do you want to compete with right now? UNC this cycle or Kentucky next cycle? They both suck. So can we get them to sign up for a 3-year increment? I don't know.
Can you think about this a little differently? Someone or SF Fiddler says he's got the 9th most NIL. That's just some tweet. That's not accurate. I would not take that $9 million or whatever key used 9th in NIL. I don't think that's right. But yeah, KU is top 5 expectations. I don't think they're generally having like top 5 spend right now, and that's not going to make Bill thrilled. However, that's not necessarily unique to like KU.
What a good year to want a raise. What a good year to be a good coach at a different school.
Yeah.
And be like, I'm getting more money from somebody. It's either you or those guys. But I'm getting a new contract. Tommy Lloyd, Dusty May. I don't care how recently you guys signed an extension.
Those guys getting paid. Yeah.
John Calipari used to do a master class of this every single year. Oh, another NBA opening linked to John Calipari. And then what happened? New contract at Kentucky. I'm seeing a lot of people tossing names in the chat. That's not this pod. That's probably the next one. But I'm seeing a lot of Ben McCollum. It's like, interesting. I saw no Ben McCollum until about 2 hours ago, and now all of a sudden he's a finalist.
Not once. Never.
I feel like we've talked about Ben McCollum.
We've talked about Ben McCollum
years
but
ago.
He was at D2.
Yeah, years ago.
Yeah.
But I'm saying all year, I've seen Dusty May and Tommy Lloyd. It's basically you have to be a 1 seed or still alive in the NCAA tournament to be a candidate to be the next Kansas head coach.
Golden's out. Golden's out.
Golden's out now.
Golden.
Yeah.
Golden's out.
Yeah, they lost. They just lost a game. Of course he's out.
He's out.
Maybe
good
he's
man.
in.
Talk to him. You can talk to
What
him.
have you done for me lately?
But this is one of the things where it's like, well, there are some good young coaches out there right now. So if you like whatever decisions are made, like hopefully they fucking know what or have a real good sense that someone has signaled to them in a genuine way and that it's not like I'm trying to get a raise way.
Do you trust
Oh.
Goff to be able to navigate that?
Not really.
I mean, who can? Every
I don't
coach has
know.
done it.
Yeah, I don't want to blame him for like him and Bill being frustrated with him. I could blame Goff for, but no, I don't. No, I think I trust him as much as there's no reason not to. He hasn't proven any reason not to, and he's the reason KU football got Kotal Nicky back. Like he got that done. That's kind of cool. That's not the same thing as hiring the next coach of Kansas basketball. So that's kind of insane. That's like trying to get Lance and Andy to figure their shit out. So I don't know why I brought that up, but can I take that back? Can I strike that for the record? Hand up, y'all. That was bad. I was trying to be like, he's like gone, like been able to navigate a couple moments, spots.
Okay.
I don't fucking know.
You know,
Okay.
somebody isn't an excuse at all, but I just want to. Sorry, I pulled up the wrong comment. Chase says, "I want Self to stay, but he desperately needs to rethink roster construction. Why in 2026 do we hate recruiting guys that can shoot the three?" I think what's important to remember here is, and this isn't an excuse, but it's like I think they're trying to do that. They may not be executing on that plan, but like Jaden Dawson was brought to Kansas to shoot the three. I think the issue was couldn't really do anything else at all. Trey White, conversely, I don't know that they thought he was going to turn into a 44% three-point shooter this year, but he did. So I think that's always the plan. I don't think this staff is forgetting that that's important. And I mean, even going back to last year, they tried to do it last year with Rylan Griffin and Zeke Mayo. And that team just had a lot of other issues that they were fighting through. So
They've not been able to.
that noise.
What the fuck was that?
I don't know.
It was like a race car went by.
Yeah, that was weird.
Who that wasn't
Or
y'all?
We should go.
UFO.
We should end this podcast.
It sounds like something happened in the world just in the background. I think spacing has clearly been an issue. And that goes with shooting and some offensive rebounding. I'm no Red Auerbach. But I do think should I stop?
Yeah, because I already apologized.
Okay. I accept. And thank you for doing that. But I also was not concerned for a second when you were coming at me. I know your takes. I know where you stand on these things. I know who and what you were talking to. I'm a symbol.
Okay, you were saying
What was I talking about? Roster
so long
construction
ago.
was bad.
I don't know.
Hey,
I thought that was a good point. Well,
okay,
the weird noise threw me off.
real quick then, I maybe Nick, you want to talk about this at another show, and that's okay. But we do have some guys on the team. Can we talk about who you want back?
Oh, yes. It's a good combo.
I don't know that we have to go like,
Who's
spend
eligible?
time on this. But let's start with Flory.
Do I want Flory back? Yes. Yes, I want Flory back.
Because
Can
there
we
are
afford
some
him?
people, there are literally some people in my comments who want him gone, like in my replies today. Like, we need to start over. We need like, what are we
12
doing?
new guys. We need 12
Let's
new
just
guys.
do Paul.
next year.
Yeah, just do all Paul.
Legit about Flory, which makes, what are we doing?
Guys,
He made a jumper today, for God's sakes. Flory made an 18-footer.
doing it.
I want Flory back, and
12.
I miss me with he wants too much money. Not my money. Just
don't
figure it
care.
out.
Yeah, figure it
Just
out.
figure it out.
100%. Some of it's my money.
It's like when you go to a restaurant and they start charging you like 25 cents for a ramekin of ranch. And they're like, well, it costs money. I go, I don't care. Just bake it into my total. Just bake it into the entree. Don't don't itemize. When I order it, they're going, yeah, but that's actually, you want a refill? And that will cost $1.50. Don't nickel and dime me. Which I guess in this scenario, Flory's the one nickel and diming, but I don't care.
Okay, here's
a few months ago when you were there, the ramekin was 75 cents, and now it's going to be $1.50. Okay.
But guess what, Kevin?
For $3 million.
But guess what, Kevin? When I ordered this meal, I ordered it knowing I was gonna need that ramekin. So now that the meal's already been ordered and you are upcharging me an extra 75 cents, it's too late. It's too late for me to say, no, I'll now go order something else that I don't need the ramekin of ranch. The chicken fingers have been ordered. So the ranch is going to come one way or another.
Ramekin?
It's a little thing the ranch comes
Really?
in. Well,
if you have to ask, you can't afford it.
Yeah. If you have to ask,
it's called a ramekin.
You clearly never worked in the service industry.
Okay, so real quick, you would like Flory. I think everyone agrees Flory. Now, second question, does he come back?
No.
We tried to leave last year.
Yeah, I think he's going to.
And now he's not coming back to play with Darren Peterson.
I think he's gone.
Okay. Moving
Where's
on.
he going? Where's he going?
Supposedly Duke's sniffing around. Who knows? Last year he was going to Auburn, though.
No one's ever went from Kansas to Duke ever. I'm pretty sure.
If he goes to Duke, I mean,
I don't know.
That doesn't happen, though. KU doesn't lose guys to Duke and North Carolina. They lose guys to like Virginia Tech and Maryland.
Have we had a guy that wanted or was willing to leave that Duke was extremely interested in?
I don't know.
Flory. Yeah.
This feels a little different.
I don't know.
Well, because when these guys leave, I always kind of like root them on. I'm like, oh, Diggy scored 40 for Maryland. That's cool.
Yeah.
If he Duke, I'm gonna have to fucking hate him.
We're gonna have our Duke foam fingers and be like, did you see he got 20 and 14 tonight? Very efficient. Good for him. Good for him. They're better than us again.
I will lose it if he goes to Duke.
It's Absolutely. The one school you can't go to.
He can't go to Duke. He can't leave, right? But he's going to leave? That's what you're saying, Mike? He's going to leave?
I think it was looking that way. I don't know. Everyone's shopping right now. We'll see. KU doesn't get Stokes. Flory's odds have come up quite a bit. So
wait, does KU getting Stokes hurt or help the chances of keeping Flory?
I think that's
money.
I don't think it's like KU's gonna have this like choice of like, well, who should we pick? So it's gonna sound like that, and that's not what I mean. I think if like I think it's unlikely to probably have both of those dudes. I don't know. They need to have some like conversations postseason. It sounded like Flory was probably gone.
Wow. All right. Moving on. Going down the list.
I don't know. It's been
no Melvin, no Trey.
These things change. They're fluid. Can I say that they're fluid?
Let's talk about the MVP of the game, Cole Rosario.
Nick, was that part of your apology?
What?
Because I've been talking about playing Cole and I felt like that was part of the rant against.
No. I want Cole back. What's the argument against bringing Cole back?
There should be no argument. I just wonder if you think he's gonna.
Oh, if he's gonna. At this point, well, let's just say this. Broadly speaking, very broadly speaking, I expect everyone to leave every year.
Correct.
The system is set up for that. Yeah.
This sucks.
But they got to play somewhere. Someone's got to stick around, right?
That's a good take. I kind of think he might come back for some reason. I don't know why.
I think Cole's got a shot
Because
at
he's got that Nebraska Furniture Mart money coming in again next season.
I think he grew up a KU fan. I think Cole might come back.
Is that true?
Isn't that real? Yeah.
Even if he
there's-
did, those guys seem to discard their alliances pretty quickly for a fresh bag of cash.
Yeah,
I
he
don't
was
think-
the number
Cole's,
2
like, not.
youth KU fan behind Riley Kugel. Because he was photographed in a KU shirt as a child.
It's
Who
true.
was the it was Remy. Remy in some videos had like put out when he got to KU, like that it was his dream school or something, or I'd seen that and I talked to his dad after all the shit went down too. And I asked him where that came from, and he was like, I don't know, we made it up.
Nice.
Something like that. And I was like, or he was like, no, someone made it up. And then I went back and looked at the videos, and it was the dad in the video. Thanks, Mr. Remy.
Yeah, we said that to get the Crown Toyota deal.
Yeah, exactly.
Mech, can we get to the next player on your list? Because I think there's one big player that is going to have the best discussion.
El Marco.
Okay,
that
the next.
Was that it?
It has to have
going.
been Bryson Tiller.
Was it Jamari?
Jamari can come
Mech.
back. That's fine. Jamari can come
Okay.
back. I don't care.
All right,
He
Bryson.
finished the year making 0 2-pointers since February.
Bryson, I'm going to stake my take is not coming back.
What's the reasoning? Why don't you think he's coming back?
I said that when they benched him for the second half of the
Yeah.
postseason game,
Dude, his numbers fell off.
and then followed up with a 0 burger in the NCAA tournament.
Dude, the crazy thing about this discussion is we can't even have it because I think Bryson Tiller, I think Cole Rosario, I think those even Jamari. It depends who the head coach is. Big time. Because if you were doghoused by
Nope. Just kidding.
a certain guy and he's no longer the coach, then you're like, well, I do like where I'm at. I believe this new guy that he likes my game. I mean, I think this isn't impossible.
I can't have this conversation yet. I
It is
can't
a
have
hard
this.
combo.
I can't have this conversation yet about the new coach. I can't do
I
it.
know.
I'm not there yet.
I know.
No, everyone has to name a name. Everyone has to name a name.
You know,
Bill
the thing with Bryson, and I know it ended on such a poor note that it's hard to be like super optimistic right now about him. But he is every freshman big guy under Bill Self ever. In fact, he's near that. Like, if you're old enough to remember, do you recall how much shit Marcus Morris caught as a freshman?
No.
People, and it was the same type of complaints that Bryson gets. Soft, can't finish through contact, just wants to shoot jumpers. It was the same sort of stuff. And then he came back his sophomore year, and all of a sudden he looked like an all-conference player. And so I am still very hopeful that Bryson
Oh my
can be
God,
a
yeah.
guy
Me too.
that you hang on to for 2 or 3 years, because the tools are there. He's very clearly having a huge learning curve going from high school where he was just bigger than everyone to college where now you're going up against guys older than you and just as strong as you, and you've never had to finish through contact once in your life.
Whoa.
And I'm hopeful that like another year of seasoning, he can be a really, because I do think he will be a very nice college player. And I hope it's for KU and not Grand Canyon. I don't know. He'll probably land somewhere better than that.
Probably.
Something
he'll
has
go to
gone
Duke.
really wrong this summer.
Maybe
That's
he'll
what
go
I'm
to
saying.
Duke with Flory.
I-
Can you imagine that? Duke trotting
I-
out our starting front court next year.
And thriving with them. Because
Yeah.
they're each a season better.
They're
Oh,
like,
I can't imagine. I couldn't until you said it, but here we are.
Anti-Zubies, they actually had to get out because Paul Mibia was coming.
We haven't talked about Paul yet.
I was just about to say, what about Big Paul? We want him back?
Got to.
Need.
I mean, build the team around him.
Oh yeah.
Name
Who showed up for
your
March more than Paul?
price. Name your price, Paul.
Paul was great. I mean,
yeah.
and by great, I mean like not great, but he was exactly what you needed. He didn't hurt you. How about that?
He showed something.
Yeah, what didn't you like from Paul? You know,
Free throw shooting.
Free throws.
he
Elbows.
hammered that one in.
Yeah, it's hilarious.
When he stepped to the line, I was like,
He did-
is this his first collegiate free throw attempt? And then they said he'd taken 5, and I was like, I don't remember those 5.
No memory of that.
Really early, I think. There were some St. John's fans behind us. And they were just like midway, or like, I think it was when he got to the line, they were like, how fucking big is this guy? They were like just like sitting there having a whole conversation just about how giant he was, and they were just stunned. Also, I had 2 KU friends who both told me that they did not know who he was until the Cal Baptist game, that they'd never seen him in their life in their mind.
That's
My
totally
wife-
fair.
My wife
Yeah, I
asked,
know.
who's that guy?
Because who the hell is number 34? They're like, where has he been all year? I was like,
Also fair. That's it. It's a fair,
Right.
it's a fair question. I'm not even mad at the
hilarious.
normies for not knowing who that is.
He really did step up. It was
Who are we
impressive.
missing? Who have we not?
We
talked-
haven't talked about El Marco and Jamari. We haven't talked about El Marco. We didn't really finish Bryson, but it was that we think he's good and want him back, right?
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay. Cool. El Marco.
I think El Marco needs a change of pace, change of
Career.
Scenery.
venue,
Career.
scenery.
Career.
I guess I don't see it.
That was a bigger line.
I think he's exactly what he is. And I've come to the conclusion, right or wrong, that what we've been doing right now with sort of continuity of players and like, I don't think they're working. Like, I want new ones.
Okay.
So I don't want him back. Is that mean?
And
I think
Bill-
it's like a very obvious take, candidly, Mac.
I guess what I'm saying is,
I think
if he
El
comes back,
Marco
he's gonna
probably
play.
feels the same way. That
If
would
he
be
comes
my-
back, Bill's going to play him because Bill does that, is what I'm getting at.
El Marco's like, please stop doing this to me.
Like,
This
what was
offense does not work with me in this role.
What was
Stop
he
it.
doing playing the final possession today? We haven't talked about that.
He's played some good defense.
You know, Bill
He
said
played good defense in the last game
Yeah.
down the stretch. Just
been
Bill
not
good.
said earlier in the season when DP was hurt. I remember this quote where he said it was one of the games that DP was out halfway through the game, and there was this question, well, if it got close, would you have brought him back in? And he said, no, I would have ridden with the guys who got us back in the game.
Yeah, I remember that.
Remember this quote?
Mm-hmm.
And who's the MFer who got them back in the game? Who's the MFer who had a plus
The
10?
guy
plus-
didn't play all year.
Cole was unbelievable, at least as a spark. And he checks him out, he might have got beat off the dribble, but Cole's going to block that shot from behind against a 5'9" white guy who just beat. I don't know if he's
He would have
5'9".
found
He
the
looked
fuck
5'9",
out of him.
probably. But
I don't know. Like that was the help defense was horrible.
I digress. Yeah, help
I don't
defense
think
was
you guys
bad. The
got
whole thing was bad. It was all
It was a disaster. Like, yeah, it was a disaster.
But the
Uh,
fact that he subbed him out goes in the face of what he had talked about before. Just saying.
KU's best 3 offensive rating lineups from conference play through Cal Baptist. They played 5, 8, and 7 minutes together. There was Cole's in all of them, the top 3.
You know, he started the year as the starter
For
for
a
Bryce.
reason. They really went. It's just.
And
You know what I was thinking about at that when I was like, if they win this
God, you
game,
gave up on it.
Cole's starting versus Duke. Those thoughts were going through my head. I'm like,
there's a world. That's not crazy. Because he'd already made that point. The point has been made in the postseason. That point has already been made.
You said there's a world where Cole's starting against Duke. How do I get to that place?
Christian says like, hey, Cole had all year to get, had all non-con to get right and couldn't. That's fair.
Yeah.
I think that's totally reasonable. It was just the like totally not ever giving him another chance after like thinking that he was good clearly because of the starting role. And freshmen like generally, I don't know, understandable. To me, it's like don't totally go away from it.
Especially when he's come in and actually gave you productive minutes. He just couldn't score.
Right.
He just couldn't make a shot, which didn't really make sense ever either. Like variance.
What he did today made sense based on what we had seen also. Like the couple plays he made, it was like, that's kind of what we've been saying.
Unless he just completely had the yips in practice too, which maybe he did.
Maybe.
And he's just been something was mechanically or whatever just off. And just couldn't make
not ready.
a shot.
yeah, but the middle of the season, it didn't really matter that Cole wasn't playing. Nobody was like, this guy's got to get more run, because that's when Trey would pop off for 20 points. Melvin was doing his thing. Bryson was looking competent as like your 5th best starter. He was always your 5th best, but it like made sense. It's only the last, 10 games that we look back on in hindsight and say, we start to question all these decisions and be like, why didn't this guy play more? Why didn't that? Like I saw somebody tweet during the Cal Baptist game, or maybe it was the Houston game, like, just can't believe we didn't spend more time developing Jaden Dawson. I'm like, he's a senior. It's not your job. He is a hired gun. It is not your job. And then 6 months he's here to develop him. You either got it or you don't. And he didn't. He couldn't do anything other than shoot the ball. And so it's like, all right, man, you're not going to play. So it's only in hindsight that we start looking back on all these decisions and going like, he should have been playing the whole season. Like, I don't really know if you would feel that way if during that 8-game winning streak, if like that's the difference between KU going on the road and beating Texas Tech or losing. Again, like it's all revisionist history stuff.
Yeah.
But like at the time, none of us were complaining that Cole wasn't getting run.
Well,
actually, you've been complaining all season. You were complaining preseason. You were preemptively complaining about the possibility of him not getting run and getting mad about it.
We did say that this was going to happen. It was someone. We didn't know who. I think we might have. Yeah.
I think Mike and I have been pro Cole all season, for the record.
Yeah.
I remember
complaining. Yeah.
I remember having a long conversation about Cole with Mike very early in the season, preseason, saying this is our guy.
Before you'd even seen him, you just saw the picture, you saw the frame, and you're like, he's my guy.
That's it.
I thought he was really
didn't have the mustache.
Like,
the mustache was the problem. I said it all along.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
He needed an arm sleeve tattoo.
If Cole comes back just absolutely blasted with ink,
I'm all the way
breakout season.
I'm all the way in.
They're gonna be all biblical in nature, but
even better.
But beautiful. Beautiful.
There'll be like a Luke Combs lyric on the right bicep.
He's like, this one just really means a lot to me. I love Luke Combs.
Okay.
Are we missing anybody?
No.
Is this do we do the like how are y'all feeling if this is the end of Bill? Like, can you even talk about that right now?
Met
Is that
can't.
too much?
I can't. I haven't
Is
got
Nick, are you dying because you've been on here for 90 minutes? Yeah, we can do that for a follow-up.
no.
No, it's a good note to end on. No, actually, that's a horrible note. What am I talking about? That's a horrible note to end on. We all talk about how sad we are, and
Now
I
it's
say
done.
subscribe,
Now we
rate, and
did it.
review.
Well,
He opened the door.
someone bleed a little. Someone bleed
Yeah,
a
we
little.
have to. I'll do it. I will feel very conflicted, and I'll feel sad. First off, I will just be sad. Mech talked about this like our entire adult lives and even into our childhoods. Bill Self has been the guy. And I can't imagine what it's like for people who like didn't grow up in the area. Like I know you guys probably followed KU and were fans of KU, but I don't know when you were, but certainly for your entire fandoms, it's been Bill, and it feels really weird right now because
Grew
it's
up a
the
KU
first
fan.
time.
Okay.
So you and Remy and Cole all grew up KU fans.
That's not okay.
Kugel.
I was going to.
Who's
I
been
was
a
at
KU
the
fan
03
longer?
was at
Who's
the
been a KU fan longer?
03
You or
title
Riley
game.
Kugel?
I was there in 03. I was there when Jeff Boschee missed a shot in overtime to beat Kentucky when Kentucky was a 1 seed. Anyone remember that? That was the 90s ball. I don't really remember it.
Getting off track.
Maybe it was 2000.
Is that
It
why
feels
your hair
weird.
looks like
It
that?
feels weird because it's
I
the
just didn't
first
like you
time
coming at my
in his
fanhood.
it's the first time in his career where it doesn't feel like he's just like dominating and spanking everybody in the conference little asses. But the thing about it is like I'm never gonna be able to concede that he can't do it again. Like that he can't come back for one more season and do something crazy. I know people are off that. I tend to think that most of those people are younger fans who maybe don't remember as vividly the super dominant years and also the totality of it for just like how long he's been
Just
great.
Wrecked other schools. Sorry.
Yeah. So I'll be sad. I'll be sad when it's not Bill because you guys said it and I'll take it a step further. It's not like almost certain. I think, Mike, you said this. Sorry, I'm taking your take. Max said it's almost certain the next guy will be worse than Bill. It is 100% certain because Bill has put together one of the most dominant stretches of basketball that a head coach has ever done. And miss me with the only 2 titles. Please find me the very long list of guys who have more titles than Bill Self since he's been coaching at Kansas. So, yeah, it will fucking suck. It will suck really fucking bad because the next guy's not going to be as good as Bill. That's just, it's a fact.
It can, there may be some relief earlier on. I get that, but like you said, the totality of it was incredible. I will be really sad too and grateful, honestly. It's been as good. That dude carried KU athletics through like what could have been some pretty dark years. Realignment on the edge. Football dead like 3 or 4 times. It was Bill. Like, just still remember to me like that realignment press conference where he came out and said everything was fine. We're Kansas or whatever. And like, it wasn't. That's when Texas and OU were on the brink of leaving. And I think like you could have had an AD say that. You could have had the chancellor say that. It was like, no, it was Bill telling everyone we're going to be okay. By the way, I don't think he believed it at the time. But he did a ton for the school. And like, it's just been complete dominance. If you're a fan of a rival school, you're like, yeah, that guy's gone. He's going to be done. Like, thank God.
Yeah.
And that tells you a lot.
He was basically unbeatable in Allen Fieldhouse. He winningest coach at KU.
Yeah.
we can talk about the national championships and Final Fours and all that stuff. Like, yeah, there were probably misses that they could have had for how good they were. There's a lot of variance in that stuff. Like, I'm willing to let some of that go. We've been on the bad side of variance a few times. I don't think that was his fault or coaching or whatever. But the thing that I think I will always point to with Bill Self is that the seasons where people are upset are like 23-10. They're like,
Yeah.
you know, they're tournament teams. They're, I mean,
4 seeds.
But losing at the buzzer to some jabroni from St. John's. Never have to think of it again.
I mean, the team was ranked forever. The team was a 1 or 2 seed forever. Wow. He's been dominant, like an absolute dominant head coach. And if you win 80% of your games over the course of a year or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5, that's really good. If you win 80% of your games over the course of freaking 20 plus years, like that's Hall of Famer stuff.
No one
Like,
does that.
no one does that. There are not very many examples of that out there. Now, could Golden come in and be the hot, whatever, or pick your name? Like Mike said, there's a lot of hot young coaches.
Key emphasis on the hot
Those guys
on the next episode. Could be wrong.
have done it in a short time span at different schools than Kansas. It's not always possible that you're going to just make the leap and keep it running like Bill Self did from Roy. It takes a certain kind. And I never in a million bazillion years would have thought that when Roy left, and I was devastated, absolutely devastated as a kid who went to every single Roy Williams basketball camp growing up, had my picture with him every year from this height to this height to this height to this height to this height. Never in a million years would I have said,
Had that for Bill.
somebody is going to come in and do it better than he did.
Yeah.
And this guy did it.
Bill did it. He really
Like,
did.
You can't possibly tell me that whoever you want, whatever guys in your mouth of that you want to put down as the next head coach, that you're all excited, you want to fire Bill or put I said it. Put Bill out to pasture. Like, whoever that person is, like, I don't care who it is. Like, if Bill wants to come back, he can come back as long as he wants.
If Bill were to go to another school and win a title, would you be surprised at all?
No.
Right. Okay.
Let me ask you this. Let's imagine just a hypothetical scenario where
You're good.
Bill wanted to keep coaching.
Now,
And in this fantasy land or bizarro world, KU was like, you got to go. Get out of here. Do you think a program like, I don't know, North Carolina would give Bill Self a call? Because I do. And would you feel good? Would you be sitting there saying, ha, 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 good luck with him. You guys don't even know. He can't win in the portal era. I would be shitting my pants if Bill Self was like, you know what? I'll do 5 years at UNC before I hang it up.
This is a nightmare fuel. I'm going to wake up sweating and screaming, thinking about him in an Argyle sweater vest. I don't know. I think it looks kind of good on me. Terrible. This is the worst thing that's ever been uttered. But it gives good perspective. I can't eulogize. Hopefully, this is just an exercise we're doing, and we get another year. I cannot sum up his career as well as you guys did, but the swagger that he that he led the program with. I mean, Todd Golden, great coach. Everyone's enamored with offenses. Bill Murray's son, the guy who's crafting all the half court action at UConn.
Oh, yeah.
So I bet it's genius, sure. But Bill is a former player, big, charismatic, alpha dog. And he happened to be a coach's tactician. Like other coaches know that Bill's shit is pretty good and maybe the best in some situations. So the way he operates, we'll never see it again.
No. That's why, like, when I've gone through these scenarios, I'm like, well, who would you want? And I'm just like, everybody always starts with like the guys who they just think are like the best coaches right now. But I always start with vibes, because Bill's vibes were off the fucking charts. And I can't go from Bill to like little like analytic nerd coach. I can't do it. If you just tell me like this guy has a great analytics team and crunches the numbers and has like puts gel in his hair, like spiked up gel, like I can't do that. Like I cannot go to that guy. I need another swagmeister.
You just knocked like 3 people off the list.
Yeah.
And they're really good candidates, I think. So we thought. But the hair gel thing and the proportions. Here, the thing that like I feel like I don't know if we talked about it on the podcast or afterwards when we chat, but people who I have talked to who have no connection to Kansas basketball, but business people who met him through a friend of a friend, and they said whenever there's groups of men around Bill Self, you just see these other guys drawing in closer to him, almost just like they just like want to hear what he's got to say. Like, and then afterwards they're like, God, that guy's great. You remember my name? I met him 8 years ago for 10 seconds.
He does too.
He's just the king.
I've told you the story, but long story short, reporter who covered Bill Self and Bill Clinton said he'd never met anyone who had the same charisma as Bill Clinton other than Bill Self.
He used it differently.
Yeah.
That's a positive though. That's a positive.
Yeah, he didn't get into politics, is what I'm saying. He's not. Okay. It's not his game.
Yeah,
I don't think he's gonna run for anything. Bruce. That's it.
Is Bruce? He's running.
No, he never did.
Okay. I feel better.
It was a good perspective. That was a good perspective. I thought it helped me picturing that, and I don't want that. The great thing about being a KU fan is that probably be pretty fucking good next year, and we can say that in a lot of ways because of Bill Self, or mostly and entirely because of Bill Self. So, oh God, dark place to be talking about. We're gonna be good next year. It's okay.
Yeah. Well, we have to.
Oh, I guess I have my friends and my family.
And I don't even feel like doing that. Like, oh well, it's football season now. No, fuck that. No.
Season.
Why did we spend a fucking $1 billion on a football stadium?
Pointless. Nothing wrong with the old one. At least it had troughs. All right. Subscribe, rate, and review. Subscribe, rate, and review. You can get Could Be Wrong wherever you get your podcast, Apple, Spotify. You can watch our live streams on YouTube. And every time you do watch, we get $1. For Vern, Mac, T-Han, I am Nick. Thanks for listening and watching. This Could Be Wrong.